Hello everyone, I hope all of you are well. In this video, we are going to look at the FRBM Act or the Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act of 2003. This has been in news because of government budget and the fiscal deficit. So let us know more about the FRBM Act and why it was in news. The FRBM Act, also known as Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act, was enacted in the year 2003. The aim of this act is to make the central government more responsible so as to ensure generational equity in fiscal management and long-term macroeconomic stability. Or you can say that the aim of the FRBM Act is to keep limit on the fiscal deficit or to check the government expenses. So FRBM Act puts limits on the fiscal deficit of the government. The FRBM Act ensures that there is financial discipline or fiscal discipline. It improves the management of public funds. It strengthens the fiscal prudence and reduces the fiscal deficits because certain targets are set and the government is bound to follow the targets. The Act sets limits on the central government debt and deficits. Fiscal deficit limit is set at 3% to the GDP. Thus, the fiscal deficit should not breach 3% level, but we do see that government sets their fiscal deficit target and most of the time it gets breached. So it gets breached because of escape clause, which we will cover in the in the coming few minutes. The FRBM Act, when it was enacted, then the 12th Finance Commission recommended that state government should also have fiscal prudence, lower fiscal deficits, and so the state government enacted their own financial responsibility legislation, which again set the same 3% limit on gross state domestic product on their annual budget deficits. So both the state and union government both the state and central government have to follow the 3% cap on their fiscal deficit. So 3% of GSDP or 3% of the GDP. The Act aims to ensure greater transparency in fiscal operations. So what is the aim? Aim is to ensure greater transparency in fiscal operations of the central government and conduct of fiscal policy in a medium-term framework. So when the budget is presented, a medium-term fiscal policy is also presented along with the budget by the finance minister. Now, this medium-term fiscal policy statement specifies the annual revenue deficit and fiscal deficit goals over the 3-year horizon. So, in this, they tells how they are going to reduce the fiscal deficit and going to achieve the 3% targets which were set by the FRBM Act. The N.K. Singh committee was later formed in 2016. Now, this committee recommended that government should target a fiscal deficit of 3% of the GDP in years up to March 2020. So, till 2020, the target should be 3%, which implied that the fiscal deficit should not be more than 3% of the GDP. So, the upper cap was 3%. And then in the coming few years, you reduce it to 2.8% in the fiscal year 2020 and to 2.5% by 2023. Now, you might have seen that fiscal deficit I'm talking about. So, what is fiscal deficit? So, you should know about fiscal deficit, how to calculate fiscal deficit. But for your understanding, if fiscal deficit is high, it means that government has to borrow more to finance its needs. So, higher fiscal deficit means more and more loans taken by the government, and this leads to debt burden on the successive government. So if fiscal deficit will come down, then the debt burden on the successive government will also come down, or vice versa will happen. As per the Act, the following documents are placed along with the union budget, which is macroeconomic framework statement, medium-term fiscal policy statement, which I have already covered, and the fiscal policy strategy statement. So these three statements are presented along with the budget. And in the medium-term fiscal policy, 4 financial indicators are projected by the government. They are revenue deficit as a percentage of GDP, then fiscal deficit, tax revenue, and then total outstanding liabilities. Now these 4 fiscal indicators tells us about the financial health of the country and how government is going to aim at the target of 3%, or whether government is having fiscal deficit targets which are more than 3%. The FRBM committee also recommended that the center's debt to GDP ratio, which is presently at 50% as compared to year 2017, should come down to 40% by 2022. This also implies that unnecessary expenditure should come down, because then only your debt can come down. And secondly, the overall debt to GDP ratio of the general government. General government is center government plus state government, should be around at 60%, and then it should come down from 60% to 40%. Now, as I said, that the fiscal deficit targets are often breached, and that is because of the escape clause. So, Section 4, subclause 2 of the Act, of the FRBM Act, says that the center can exceed the annual financial fiscal deficit target, provided that it is done on certain grounds. Now, that certain grounds are also mentioned in the Act. These are in case of war or in case of national security, because in case of war and national security, all the financial resources, so majority of them are channelized to the defense sector. Thus, in order to meet the needs of the socio-economic sector, government has to borrow at the time. They are in need of financial resources, so they do borrow and they breach their fiscal deficit targets. Third is during calamity and collapse of agriculture. Now, we have seen that there are a number of states which were affected by Cyclone Fani and other cyclones as well. Okay. So when the cyclones happen, the state government face huge thousands of crores of losses, because they have to invest more on rehabilitation of the people, then to ensure that people are getting all the relief material. So certain expenditures are there. Now, in case of major disaster, or even when cyclones come like Cyclone Fani, etc., the state government had to borrow at certain occasion in order to meet their targets, because the existing resources were well planned and no one expected that calamity can happen at such a large scale. And so most of the time the fiscal deficit targets are breached. And then collapse of agriculture and structural reforms. When structural reforms are undertaken in an economy, the revenues are also impacted for certain period of time, and so government finances itself or its revenue by borrowing in the name of structural reform. So the escape clause implies that fiscal deficit targets can be breached by the government on these grounds, and thus government can borrow. Now, this escape clause has been used number of times. For instance, in this year's budget of 2020-21, government has used the escape clause by terming reduction of the corporate taxes and as a structural reform. So they said that the reduction in corporate taxes is a structural reform, and so they are going to breach the target, because more than 1 lakh crore revenue will be lost by the reduction in corporate taxes, and this reduction has been around 10%. So 10% reduction has been there on corporate taxes, and so corporate taxes presently have come down from 35% to 25%. In some cases, for certain industry, it is at 20%, 15%, and so this is going to impact the revenues of the government, and that's why they termed it as a structural reform, and now they are using the escape clause. The government revised the fiscal deficit target of the FY 2019 to 3.8% from the budgeted 3.3%. So in the budget, they said that the fiscal deficit will be at around 3.3%. But then they revised it to 3.8%. So when upward revision takes place, it implies that government is going to borrow more. Similarly, when 2008 crisis happened, the government went for massive expenditure, massive tax holidays and tax incentives, and this clause was used, and the impact was fiscal deficit stood at 6.2% against the target of 2.7%. So you can see how the fiscal deficit targets are breached by using the escape clause. Now, the crucial thing you should remember is that now COVID-19 is happening, and COVID-19 is there, and this has led to rapid rise in the healthcare expenditure of the states as well as for the central government. But we know that the burden is more on the state government, and the stringent lockdown which was announced and it continued, and even the certain economic activities which are still prohibited or which are limited to a certain extent in the unlock phases had a serious impact on the economy and are having serious impact, and economy takes time to recover. Now this has impacted the revenue of the state as well as central government, and this is also impacting the compensation of GST by the center to state. Now because of all this, the revenues are severely impacted, and thus the government is getting lesser revenue receipts. Now lesser revenue receipts combined with higher expenditure leads to more borrowing by the government. Now when more borrowing takes place, this clearly indicates that fiscal deficit is going to be high, and thus COVID-19 will also be a calamity, and so under the escape clause will be used and more borrowing will be undertaken by the government. This is because you should remember that the budgeted money is not only used for certain things, but a well-planned structure is there that how this money is going to be channelized. So certain amount of money is channelized for socio-economic goals, certain amount of money is channelized for interest payments, and then for capital creation, for grant and aids, etc. And this, when calamity like this arises or when war happens, the entire budget goes into vain, because whatever you have planned, now the scenario has completely changed, and so most of the time most of the economies often breach their fiscal deficit targets. Thus in this video we have looked at the FRBM Act, why it was enacted, what is presented in the budget, and what is about the escape clause. Now let us look at few practice questions. The first is, the Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act was passed to keep check on. So here are the 4 options. The correct will be option C. In the video I have already said that Fiscal Responsibility FRBM Act aims at both reduction in fiscal deficit and revenue deficit. Question: fiscal policy refers to, now this refers to government financial policy, because commercial banks, monetary authority, all of them deals with monetary policy. So monetary policy is announced by Reserve Bank of India, whereas fiscal policy is by the central government. Question 3rd. According to FRBM Act and FRBM rules of 2004, the government is under obligation to present 3 statements before the parliament along with the annual budget. This question I have very well covered in the video. If you don't know, please refer the video. So here the question is asking, out of these 4 options, which of the following statement is not presented? So here the correct will be option D. Short-term fiscal policy statement is not presented, whereas the option A, B, C, the 3 statements are presented. It is mandatory to present the statement. Example: macroeconomic framework statement, fiscal policy strategy statement, and medium-term fiscal policy statement are presented with the budget. Alright, so option D will be correct one, that short-term fiscal policy statement are not presented. Thank you.